Hello, everyone. We are back. Canadian Bowler Show. This is Michael Patulli and Daryl Fitzgerald. First time in a long time, but we are back. How are you doing, Daryl?
I'm good. A little refreshed from a short trip down south, and coming back to no snow was awesome. So thumbs up to
I
that.
wish. Yeah, I had a nice trip down south too. I enjoyed the heat because Saskatchewan got about a foot and a half of snow over the last 2 days. So
Oof,
I had my snowblower out for a good hour this afternoon. So it was a good day. Glad it's nice out there.
really good. Yep. Ontario's okay right now.
Well, since we are here, just going to do our normal reminder to hit those like, comment, subscribe buttons if you are here. We really do appreciate any interactions that we do get. So please do hit those buttons. Comment on the video if you have any sort of opinions or things you want to talk to us about or let us know about. We do appreciate it. If you're not able to check the show out live, we're on YouTube within the day, and we're on all major podcasting platforms. If that's your jam, usually within the week of the show, so you can check us out on any of those platforms um, after the fact. So I guess we can jump right into it because we got lots of info. One of the, I guess, sort of related to what we were just talking about, supporting us. Obviously, a big announcement out of us. A couple weeks ago, we announced the Canadian Bowler Open. Been a brainchild, big thing in Daryl and mine mind for a long time. We've been working on it. I think you said in our video, approximately about a year. We probably would have liked to release some info about it in the summertime, but we had some logistical issues that we had to work through and sort of figure out over time. But we eventually got it all hammered out and figured. So the Canadian Bowler Open, we are very excited to announce it, bringing that news to you, and we are absolutely humbled. So happy with the support we're getting from everybody that we actually have sold the event out already. So absolutely blows our minds. Yeah, it's incredible. We really do appreciate the support from everyone. When we say hit those buttons, we always sort of say go and look at our merchandise that we do have, hit those buttons, everything like that. We're funneling essentially all of the money we get from the show into the Canadian Bowler Open. It's sort of been an idea we've had for a very long time. We want to do that. So we really do appreciate any support we get. So entering the event, hitting those buttons, supporting us in whatever way, that's what we're putting our money into, is we really want to make this event really the premier event in Canada. We feel we have the ability to do that through streaming, and then sort of through some of the strange ideas we'll say that we have for the event. But I think it's going to be very fun to play in because Calgary Lawn Bowling Club is. I've literally never heard a person speak badly about their greens to me about it, so I'm very excited to play there. Well, I've talked for a while here, Daryl. What do you want to say?
A lot of the same. I'm blown away by the support that we've had. It's uh, we had conversations when we were getting ready to announce it, and it's like, okay, well, we need to plan out, are we going to promote it, in a couple weeks, and then maybe in a month, and then just keep, pushing to see if we can get entries, and it just filled up. Um, I was overwhelmed with emails and notifications of entries that were coming in while Mike and I were down in Arizona at the South Central Open playing, trying to keep up with updating the lists and making sure everything was up to date so that people actually knew how many entries were coming in. Just absolutely crazy. We For everybody that's watching, for everybody that's still interested, go to canadianbowler.ca, check out all the information for the Canadian Bowler Open. Get on the waiting list if you're not on the waiting list. If entries do drop out, because it's a long time from now until when the event happens, we'll be going down that waiting list, letting people know that a spot is opened, and you're the first one to get that opportunity as well. Mike and I are looking at ways to try to massage the draw, make some changes to hopefully open up some spots and get some more people in. So um, just get on that waiting list, and you'll be the first ones to know if spots do open up as well. So it's really important that you get your entry in. Make sure that you get something on that waiting list so that we can notify you when something does happen.
Yeah, no, that's I can't say that even more. I would say there's probably a strong possibility we will be able to incorporate some additional players into the tournament. We just want to make the event as great as we can. So obviously, it's sort of background work. We're trying to figure out however many we can expand it to. So if you are interested in the event at all, please get on that waiting list as soon as you can, because we already do have, I think, a pretty lengthy waiting list for the singles specifically, and I think even a team or two in the pairs. So it'd be worthwhile just putting your names in if you are even thinking about the event, because as Daryl said, you'll be one of the first people to know when spots do open up. The other thing we will say about the event is there will be more announcements coming sort of about details of the event in the coming weeks. Specifically, I expect probably within the next week we'll have information about our hotels, sort of the hotel situation. We're going to get a block of rooms set off, good little discount for the bowlers, a little bit of a sponsorship from Tourism Calgary type of a thing. So we're working on getting that information out to everyone. So do pay attention to CanadianBowler.ca / any of our social media. We will have updates there. And then we will have some announcements coming soon with sponsors of the event. So we do have that info, and we just kind of wanted to release it over time or as we went. So we will have that info for you guys fairly soon with the sponsors of the event and everything like that as well. Anything else you wanted to say about the Canadian Bowler Open, Daryl?
No, just make sure you check out CanadianBowler.ca. We are starting up a blog there as well. So stuff that we talk about on the show, we don't always go to super length on or super detail. And Mike and I have opinions about a lot of stuff. Those of you that know us know that we do. So we'll be making posts and articles about different information that we may not talk about on the show. So check that out as well.
Alrighty. So I guess we can move on. We've already pretty much talked about it. We were just in Arizona, the both of us. So we went and played in the South Central Open. It was pretty awesome. I absolutely love Arizona. Daryl's first time down there playing in, I guess, sort of the tournament formats. He's done sort of national team stuff down there way back in the day, but first time sort of in the tournaments. I've played in the tournaments there multiple times, and I love the greens. I can't say anything negative about those greens in Sun City area. It's absolutely incredible. It was a great time playing there. What did you think about your first experience there, Daryl?
Yeah, I think it had been over a decade since I had played there. All the stuff that I remember was still consistent. Like the greens were good. Some of them were even better than I remember. Um, they weren't. I'll say they weren't at the peak, but they were very, very good. And yeah, the learning curve for me coming off of winter, not playing in months, um, that was a huge thing for me. So awesome tournament.
All right. Well, I guess we can just jump into the results because we're going to bring you the results. So men's singles, the winner ended up being Terry Marr. Second place went to Bill Brault. Third place went to Mike Wagner. And fourth place went to Phil Dunn. So 3 Americans, 1 Canadian. I was also in that championship flight, and I'm the one loser. So the names you're going to be seeing after this are the guys that were also lost the first matches of the championship flight, but ended up winning their games. So Calvin Darling ended up beating John McDonald in the second flight final. In the third flight final, Peter Ritchie defeated Mike McNorton. And in the fourth flight, some scrub named Daryl Fitzgerald defeated Rob Benecki. So Daryl got the fourth flight. We both played pretty good in the singles, but I obviously was the loser of the bunch. But really good, fun time. The singles event is a good time there, so we really did enjoy ourselves. Any thoughts about the singles, Daryl?
A really good way to start off. I had a ton of fun. I don't play a lot of singles. Anybody that knows me knows I don't play a lot of singles, but um, I guess I can hold my own. I mean, it was fourth flight. It's not like I was in the championship fight, but it was fun. I had a great time.
All right, so moving on. What do you got next? There's that men's triples. Yep.
Yes, sir.
So men's triples. The winners were Mike Wagner, SpongeBob, and Steve Zanson. So Bob Perry, SpongeBob. Second place went to Don Caswell, Michael Sanford, and Tom Roth. And third place went to Javier Gomez, Angel Gomez, and George Ralston Jr. Second plate winners were Daniel Gorlick, Phil Dunn, and Robert Celio. They defeated Ian Ho, David Shaw, and Bob Seltzer. Third flight winners were Ron Rolick, Lou Cohen, John Billen. They defeated Terry Marr, Angel Roca, and Peter Ritchie. And then the fourth flight winners were international event winners Greg Wilson, Mike O'Reilly, and John McDonald. They defeated Patrick Duffy, Ted Trigard, and Rob Barsevich. So that was the men's triples. Do you want to jump and take the next one, Daryl?
Sure. Men's pairs. Believe it or not, the Canadian bowlers can bowl. Men's pairs. The first place went to Daryl Fitzgerald and Michael Patulli. Two good-looking guys. Look at that picture. Second place went to Phil Dunn and Daniel Gorlick. Third place went to Patrick Duffy and Ted Trigard. And fourth place went to Charlie Herbert and Sadri Jazageri. Second flight, Brad Hadeli and Tom Crackraft defeated Dave Defoe and Fred Clark. Third flight winners were Greg Wilson and Rob Law defeating Steve Bezanson and SpongeBob Perry. And the fourth flight went to George Ralston Jr. and Mike Wagner defeating Gord Fall and Jim Filipiak.
Yeah, I almost wore the glasses in the photo there. I was wearing my eyeglasses first day we played, and I allowed Daryl to buy me the most obnoxious sunglasses he could. So if you can't really see them in that photo, they're very, very pink, and they're very big Macho Man Randy Savage looking sunglasses.
Beautiful.
So it was pretty majestic. I did enjoy wearing them. I almost put them on, but I'd be blind without my glasses. So figured I'd spare that for everyone.
All right.
And next we got ladies singles. So the winner was Dee McSparron. Second place went to Claire Day. Third was Mari Beath. And fourth was Trisha Kwan. Second flight final, Jan Robinson defeated Mary Wright. Third flight, Joan Robbins defeated Bev Robinson. And fourth flight final, Jordan Koss defeated Inger Benson.
All right. Next up, women's fours. First place, Sandy Wall, Cindy Higgins, Lynn Cranch, and Kathy Mills. Second place was Mare Beath, Mary Spees, Trude Jadis, and Val Tilton. Third place, Julia Gallo, Mary Wright, Rachel Marcuson, and Rose Selby. And fourth went to Becky Rinaldi, Jackie Hogan, Trisha Kwan, and Manya Orane. There weren't a lot of flights in this, so we only went to the second flight. Second flight winners, Dee McSparron, Jean English, Sherry Curry, and Pat Binney defeated Jan Robinson, Bev Robinson, Heather Hanoski, and Jordan Koss.
And for the ladies pairs, the winners were Jan and Bev Robinson. Second place was Jean English and Pat Binney. Third place was Kochia Moore and Ava Lee. And fourth place was Peggy Platham and Patty House. Second flight, Jordan Koss and Heather Hanoski ended up winning that one. Third flight, Joanne Hedgespeth and Mary Thompson ended up winning that one. And the fourth flight, Sue Roth and Karen Schlatter ended up winning that. So congratulations all around. Um, if you ever are looking for something to do in your February, they usually do run the South Central Open sort of mid to late February every year. So I'd highly recommend it to anybody who's looking for some competitive bowls, good greens, great weather. The Arizona weather is always terrific. So I can't complain about that really ever. Any other thoughts about the results there, Daryl?
No, it was awesome going down. For us to go down together, this was the first time that Mike and I had actually played together, ever. So that was a really great experience. And we see a lot of names come through the chat. We see a lot of names come through comments and emails and stuff. But going down to the States and actually seeing a bunch of people that have chatted us up, and we really didn't, we have never met them before or haven't seen them in years and years and years. That was really awesome. The off green stuff, just seeing people and chatting with them was awesome as well.
Yeah, no, I think we've had Julia Gallo in the chat a few times, and we both actually got to meet her for the first time, and that was really nice. And then there's a good chunk of sort of the Alberta bowlers that were there, and we got to hang out with them a bunch too. So a bunch of our friends from what years on the national team, and for me, like U25 days and everything like that. So it's very nice to see everyone and connect once again. And obviously, it's just great to bowl and be out there again.
Absolutely.
So I guess we can move on. Got other stuff to cover today. What's next on the docket, Daryl?
I'll quickly do a another results thing, and then we can move on to some of the new things. BPL19 just wrapped up recently. For those that haven't seen BPL before, Bowls Premier League down in Australia, they get, like, I'm not even joking, like the top bowlers in Australia and beyond playing this event. It's fast-paced, short games, high scoring stuff on the indoor, usually on carpet. I won't say necessarily indoor, but on carpet and usually indoor. High quality production. So go check the out Bulls Australia and their Facebook page, because they have a whole bunch of highlights that you can go and check out. The Pulse taking down BPL19 in a really close match. So Melbourne Pulse defeated Moreton Bay Pirates in a tiebreaker. So set one went to the Pirates 10-1. Huge dominant set for them. And then the Pulse came back and won set two 7-4. And then the Pulse won the tiebreak. So everything you want in a final, back and forth, high scoring game, lots of amazing shots were made. Gary Kelly, Barry Lester, and Ellen Ryan in the photo here. Gary Kelly was also named MVP. Made some incredible shots on his way to winning the final. Gary's been in fine form ever since we saw him at Worlds. So good on him for doing that. Mike, I don't know if you got to check out any of the BPL, but what were your thoughts?
I was again. I this one is probably the one I paid the least attention to in a long time because we were obviously busy during it bowling. So it was hard to sort of pay attention to it, but I did catch the final. I did catch a couple of the other matches sort of in our off time. The one that caught my eye obviously is Canada's own Ryan's giant drive. I think we posted a short of it on the channel here. It's just crazy to watch some of the drives and things that happen, and specifically his with on carpet. I think with the bull it jumps a bull and then it sort of spins out and pushes a bull. So it's a cool video. If you haven't checked it out, definitely go and check that out. It's one of the shorts we posted recently. So that's a cool little sequence of bulls to watch. But yeah, the final was a bizarre, well, just the joy of sets play, I guess. You get a 10-1 first set win and then a sort of a close second set, and the team that is trailing pretty significantly in the overall score of the event ends up winning it in the tiebreaker. So again, that's just the way sets play goes sometimes, but again, it's the best of the best playing, so you can't really get too worked up with when one of the teams ends up pulling it off the way it is. It's just the way that format works.
Good event though. Um, just moving on to an announcement. Recently, Bulls USA released some information on the U.S. Open. Announcing the 2024 U.S. Open, hosted by Bulls USA. The location will be in Sun City West, Arizona. So basically, where Mike and I just came from playing in the South Central. The dates are November 3rd to the 9th, 2024. The rain date is November 10th. Registrations open April 1st, so that's coming up. You got a month to prepare, figure out if you want to enter, and then entries open up. And then it just says see the Bulls USA website for further details. Links to the Bulls USA website are in the description, so go check that out. Any thoughts on that, Mike?
I love the U.S. Open. I've played in, I think, 4 different times myself. 3 of those times in Arizona, so I would highly recommend it to anybody. They always usually do get very high quality players from Europe and Australia playing it in every year now. So if you are wanting to really test yourself against the best, definitely go check it out. Obviously, the who's who of America and Canada do show up to it as well. So it's a very competitive event. Pretty good cash prizes too if you end up obviously doing well. So I would highly recommend it to anybody that wants to, again, go and experience the greens and the weather of Arizona. It's an absolutely great time. So I can't say anything negative about it going back to Arizona, but I'm a bit of a homer. I absolutely love Arizona. So as my hat would probably allude to you.
Yeah, really cool to see it down there. As we said, the greens were excellent when we went down, and I don't think they're going to change that much going into US Open. Probably only get better. So yeah, look forward to that. Check out the Bulls USA website. Again, description or the link is in the description of this video. So definitely check that out. I have a quick plug for another event, another Canadian event, WOBA. There's been some social posts about WOBA. WOBA is coming up again this year. It is, I mean, arguably next to our event, the biggest event in Canada. I love WOBA. WOBA's in my home province and at my home club. It is a massive event. It's 5-a-side men's teams, 3 days. So as it says here, 1 event, 3 days, 5 players, priceless memories. A lot of my best memories of Bulls have come from that event. Great people. It's run fantastic. The greens are really good. And if you can get down here to play, definitely get down here to play. It's July 21st to July 23rd, Heritage Greens Lawn Bowling Club in Kitchener, Ontario. Go check it out at www.wobaweek.com and follow them on Facebook. There's a lot of stuff that they throw out there throughout the year, and more details on stuff will be coming out because on top of WOBA Week, there's just a ton of stuff that happens that week. There's a pairs event that has good payout at the club just before the event. There's another additional day just after that WOBA is making for a masterboard event, and then later on that week in Milton, which is roughly half an hour to 45 minutes away from that location, there's a skins event which has some really good payouts. So if you're looking for some cash prizes, make your trip worthwhile and play some really great players from across Canada, and fingers crossed we get some US players sneaking in there this year. You get some really good competition and a really great week.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna add too much more to that because I've been to WOBA many times myself. It's an absolutely terrific tournament. If you've never tried it, I would recommend it as well. It's one of the, well, probably the best Bulls tournament or Bulls week, I guess you can get in Canada for if you want as much Bulls as you possibly can play over a span of a week. I think that's probably where you're going to want to go because it's literally, as you sort of alluded to, about 4 or 5 events kind of stacked all in a row. So definitely check it out if you've never gone to it before. And if you are looking for a team, you can definitely take a look at the website, and you'll definitely be hooked up with a pretty solid team, because there's always very competitive players looking for teammates. So definitely do check it out if you're interested.
Next up, World Bowls Indoor Championship. So, I'll just top it off, and then I'll let you go for it, Mike. World Bowls Indoor Championship, April 21st to 27th. This will be going down, and it's in Guernsey, which we haven't seen in the last while, as far as I know. But that'll be really, really cool. All these players will be descending upon Guernsey to play on in their indoor bowls club. So it should be really cool. There's a list of names of people in there. Mike, any thoughts about this event?
I've really liked how this event's kind of resurged over the last couple of years. It was kind of a pretty not tired event, but seemed there wasn't a lot of entries or huge interest for a while, and then really over the last few years, it's kind of just jumped up there. So as you see, there's quite a large amount of countries in there, and then there's quite a very high quality players playing in it too. So will be fun to check out. Obviously, Canada's own Mike McNorton will be playing for the men, and I can't see the list. I think it's Linda for the ladies. Is that right?
Yeah, Linda Ng. Yep.
Yeah, Linda Ng. Okay. I was going by complete memory there, because that list is far too small for me to be able to read right now. But it'll be great to see them get a shot there and get to experience, as you're saying, Guernsey, kind of not the traditional spot, but obviously over there in the UK, they're probably not a huge difference in the indoors that they're going to be getting from any of those spots, but it'll be great to see how everyone does down there.
Yeah, you got some well-known names popping in, the Ray Pierce and Samantha Atkinson from Australia, Jason Greenslade from Guernsey, and Rosemary Augier. They'll be the hometown favorites. Just going down the list, is that Shamir, awesome player from Malaysia. You see his name all over World Bowls and their team, so that'll be really, really cool to see him play. Ali Forsyth, and obviously the reigning World Bowl singles champion Tyler Bruce will be playing. She'll probably be one of the favorites, if not the favorite, heading in, just considering how well she's played recently. Michael Stepney, or Stepney, I should say, from Scotland, obviously always in the mix. Danny Salmon from Wales is a good name on that side as well. And you have returning champion Julie Forrest. You don't have the men returning champion, obviously, but Julie Forrest is returning as the returning champion to try to defend her title, so that's really cool too. She's awesome on the indoor. You can see her play on WBT all the time, so I assume she'll be hotly contesting that championship as well.
Yeah, very excited to see that. It'll be, again, we're obviously going to cover the results of that, so that's taking place next month there. It's next month, mid next month. Is that right, Daryl? What are the dates?
April 21st and 27th.
Yeah, so we'll have those results for you shortly after they occur next month there.
Yeah. I didn't have anything as far as results or announcements go. Was there anything else that caught your attention over the last couple of weeks that you wanted to chat about?
Yeah, like there's a few different things that I obviously kind of wanted to talk about. So the one thing that I did sort of been paying attention to is Bulls England did make some recent adjustments to their competitive play, sort of what the guidelines around their nationals. So that was pretty notable to me. It's very similar to what Canada's done here. So very controversial changes to some of their events that they've made. So a long-standing event, the family pairs that they had, this has now got a lot more restrictions put onto it. So it essentially, it sounds like if you've ever been on the national team or you're currently on the national team, you're not allowed to play in the event. And they're kind of trying to steer towards being probably a second tier nationals event type of a thing. I'm not sure what the whole intent of it is, but I found that very notable that that restriction was there. And I saw a few of my Facebook friends who are from England there not too happy about those changes. And I think it's just interesting to see that there's a lot of unpopular changes being made by national governing bodies, essentially worldwide, um, over the last year or so. So, I guess, what are your thoughts overall about some of the changes that are occurring, Daryl? And if you have any sort of thoughts about the changes in England?
Um, it was a long read. I guess I hadn't fully appreciated the volume of events that they have over there. Like it was just one after the other, boom, 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 going through all these changes. Yeah, it seems like you. My focus kind of went to the family pairs simply because the comments just blew up as far as that particular one went. It's interesting to see. I mean, I think a lot of international bodies and national organizations that run each separate country's events are really leaning towards making changes to long-standing traditional things going on, seeing that there's shortening it, changing it up, putting restrictions on it. We did something like that similarly in Canada in the not this recent run, but the last one where we put restrictions on our mixed pairs, where if you had actually qualified to go to the nationals, you couldn't qualify to go to the mixed pairs. It was basically that secondary event for people that hadn't qualified for nationals and still wanted that competitive experience. So it'll be interesting to see what the fallout is. I've seen a lot of comments. Obviously, we're not from England, so we don't know all the ins and outs, but yeah, governing bodies are not the most popular thing right now in the bowls world, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think the way it is the bowls world, we're a very traditionalist sport, and when people do try to make changes, it's usually not well received. Often it's not done well by the governing bodies too. So I think if we're commenting on a Canadian perspective, most of the problems I think we have with what's happened with ours is Bowls Canada kind of forced their changes forward and didn't really get as much consultation as they maybe needed. Bulls England seemed to have quite a bit of consultation with their changes, but then again, if you have something that's got this much of an uproar behind it, obviously they maybe misinterpreted what they were saying or just completely missed what they were trying to do or the intentions of what they were trying to do. So very interested how that will develop. If we do have any sort of English listeners, definitely do either send us a message, give us your take. We would love to further cover it or bring this up more on the podcast in the future, just because it is a hot button issue and we do like covering things for all across the world. So very interested to see what's going to happen down the line there.
Yeah, I guess in line with that, Mike, you kind of pointed it out to me, but article written in Bowls International. Yeah, it was Bowls International magazine about the changes in Canada. And usually you don't see a lot of Canadian content in there. Usually you see, hey, a Canadian was in the winner's circle or something like that, but not really something written about our nationals or what we do over here. So interesting article. What did you think about that, Mike?
Uh, I don't know. It's a very well written article. I'm not gonna say anything negative about the article itself. I like that it's pretty balanced because it gives very much perspectives from all sides. It does talk about the controversies, how it was essentially done poorly, how BC is now pulled out of nationals. As you're saying, it I like the fact that it is being covered by sort of that's a fairly big publication in the bowls world. So at least is getting that information across to different nations. Obviously, there's problems here, and as we just talked about, there's problems in England as well. So um, I personally liked the read because it's all gets the information to people because social media is misleading at times. Sort of some of the things that you do read on there, fact fiction. It's hard to determine what's truth and what's not online at times. So the article does try to get as much facts as they can, because they obviously reach out to the different provincial associations, Bulls Canada, everything like that. A little harsh at times, obviously, I think, but I think the article needed to be harsh, and it's good because I think it's going to keep Bulls Canada accountable for sort of what's done and how it's going to happen over the next year. So very, very nice to see it in there. What were your thoughts, Daryl?
Very much the same. Great article. The author Don Pixley had written an article about the show previously, so it's cool that he's taken an interest in Canadian Bulls, and hopefully we see continuing coverage of that, because we need it for one. Yeah, I think it was like 50-50. You got some of the good, some of the bad, more of the facts, I think. It was difficult, I think, for him to get information, because it looks like pretty much every provincial association except for Ontario shut him down as far as comment. But it was good to see a few people talking out and giving some information. So really cool to see. If you guys haven't seen it, sometimes it's hard to see because Bulls International Magazine, you'll have to pay a small subscription to actually see it online or get the magazine. But if you are interested, go check it out. Bulls International Magazine. They've got great content, so your subscription isn't wasted if you really like Bulls. They have a lot of great stuff on there, and help support getting that information out there and hearing about our country and other countries. So.
So I think that's kind of all we had regularly planned. I think the last show we'd said we would have loved to talk about where the Nationals are being hosted and who's on the Canadian national team, but we'll enter day whatever it is of delays and the announcements not being made. So obviously more disappointment and more waiting at this point for all those announcements to be made, because, well, I think where this is an unprecedented wait on announcing where Nationals is actually going to be hosted. I don't think it's particularly well kept secret at this point where it is, but it is just one of those things where people want to know dates, everything like that. Because I don't know, I personally, if I want to play in it, have to send my holiday time in for work in less than a month. So it's I'm starting to almost get to the point where I need that information sent ASAP. So hopefully it's coming. We keep hearing and seeing everywhere that it's the paperwork hasn't been completed or the agreements haven't been signed, whatever it is. But hopefully that's done soon. And then same with that national team. I guess we're multiple months delayed for that announcement as well. So it'd be nice to see who is on our team for whatever international events do end up happening in the next few years.
Yeah, I mean, having been on the opposite side for not only Bulls Canada but selection, high performance committee, all that kind of stuff, I can honestly say that I'm sure everybody in there is, from top to bottom, is really disappointed that things haven't been announced, signed off, and closed. Because I'm sure Bulls Canada would like to have the dates, hosting agreement, and everything done, but obviously there's some snags going on there, and then obviously the high performance committee wants to announce that team, so I'm sure they're disappointed that they haven't been able to do so yet. And obviously the players are sitting on it. Those that have been told that they are on the team have to sit on it for months and months and months and months, which sucks. You just want to tell people, if I was picked and want to be on, I want to tell people, I was like, hey, suck it, you losers, I'm on the team. So you can't do that.
God bless those players that have had to sit on this for multiple months. I feel terrible for those people, because it's a pretty important, cool thing to know or be able to say, and the fact you can't just openly talk about it is heartbreaking almost. That we're 3 months into a 3-year cycle already, or whatever, I guess it's a 3-year cycle, so 3 months into that cycle, and you haven't been able to tell anybody that you're actually on the team. So Well, hopefully the secrecy ends soon, and me and you do have some fun stuff to talk about. Maybe on
Yeah.
the next show. Maybe we'll have to do some funny graphic or some sort of how many days delayed or something next show
Put a
if
little
we still don't
counter up
have the
here.
information.
Yeah.
Yeah, how many days delayed? National team announcement. Days delayed. Nationals announcement. Yeah. Okay, we'll work on that. We'll maybe incorporate that for the next show. Was there anything else you really wanted to cover here, Daryl?
No, I think we're good. Good show, man.
Cool. Just final reminder, if you are here, please do hit those buttons. As we sort of went over earlier, all the support we get, specifically Canadian Bowler Open, we are overwhelmed with your guys' support. We really do appreciate any type of support we get, and hitting those buttons helps us immensely. All of the sort of money we're getting from the show here is directly going into the Canadian Bowler and trying to really increase bowls across Canada. So that's our main vision, and we do appreciate any of those times you hit those buttons.
We are that close, like literally that close to 5,000 subscribers. So hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. We want to get that 5,000 subscriber mark because that's a huge milestone for us as well.
Yes, please do hit those buttons. And again, if you're not able to check this out, we all are on major podcasting platforms within the week. So check us out after the fact, because we got lots of good info for people to go over here today. So yeah, I guess we can wrap up the show here. Thanks, Daryl, for joining me. And with that, may all your bowls be touchers.